Live? Oh my god, you guys. Hi, everybody. I'm en route to work and I just wanted finally a tale of 1,000 stars. So last night I cried again because it doesn't look like the teacher and the chief are going to get together. Because after the whole incident in the woods, the chief survived the gunshot. They got the bullet out in time. And Tien's father showed up on the scene, flew in and, revealed that he's known that Tien was there in that remote village all the time. And that basically Tien's just out there having fun, whatever fun is. And so Tien revealed to his father that he knew the real truth behind his heart transplant and that he had put a lot of money into getting his heart, and that he knew who the donor was, and that's why he had actually come there. But the father's requesting him to come home, like he's got to be home like in 5 days, like he's got 5 days to pull out because his family is extremely rich. His father's a general. He's got all these coins. And then the shocking part for me was the chief, the one they call Pupa, the one his love interest or whatever, was in on it. He knew that Tien was rich, from a rich family, and that he actually worked for his father because he's, military. And so the father was like so grateful that, he took a bullet for his son, that he wants to reward him financially. But I don't think his father knows that Tien is in love with the chief. So I don't think the father knows all of the details. But so he's just following the orders of the father to send Tien home, because he knows Tien won't listen to him. He's very defiant. He does what he wants, and nobody can tell him what to do. But if the chief tells him to come home because they have a relationship, because he's been protecting him all this time, that he can get him to leave, and that's what he did. And so Tien was just like devastated, that the chief did what he did. I was devastated because I want to see them together. Like, I'm so sick of these BLs that don't have a happy ending. Like, come on, let them, like, if he's gone through all of this sacrifice and they've really bonded through all the tragedy that's happened to all the people and all the kids, and from the beginning, there was so much tragedy going on. And so I just was like, come on, just let them be together. Like, how can this not be a happy ending? Like, what the hell? Like, it doesn't look good. So I think there's one more episode that's going to be next week, and it doesn't look good because it looks like he's leaving. Like, they're doing farewell, goodbye parties and all that. He spent all of his time with the kids, teaching them all kinds of things. He fulfilled all of the wishes of Tofan, and he even made the pilgrimage to the top of the mountain. And I forget the name of the mountains. They've said it so many times, but my brain's a blank. But anyway, this is the mountain where he was going to count all the stars for Tofan. He was trying to get to 1,000 stars. And he went to the top up there and he started counting. But of course, when he got almost to 1,000, he couldn't do it. Like, he was just exhausted. Like, his eyes would go black. Like, he would start all over again. Like, he just kept going over and over and over again till he couldn't do it. He was just crying, and oh my God. And then the chief showed up and embraced him and told him he doesn't have to fulfill anything for anybody. He has to make himself happy. And so that's when, they kind of decided they're not going to be together. He gave him like a little memento, a gift, a ring, a wedding ring, that was given to him from his mom. I'm calling it a wedding ring just out of spite because, that's supposed to be your man. And I'm devastated. Like, it's not looking good. And so it really bothered me that after all of this time and all of this, intenseness of back and forth and push and pull in relationships, they're not going to be together. And it kind of like brings reality for me because it's like I know how hard it is to, be in relationships. That's why I choose just to stay by myself, is because it's hard to make other people happy, and it's hard for you to give all your love and give all your time and give up yourself to be with somebody else, and they give you, their ass to kiss at the end. Excuse my language, but it is what it is. And sometimes self-love is the best love because nobody can treat you better than you. And if you want to be miserable, you can wallow in your misery and you don't need anybody's help. It's very easy to be miserable on a daily basis. We got plenty of people out here who are examples of that, and they always come to share their misery. So it kind of set me back in a way. Like, it reminds me of another BL that I saw that it wasn't a happy ending, and I'm trying to remember the name of it. It was more around the school though. I just can't think of the name of that. I'm gonna have to look it up. But at the end, the boy dies and goes to heaven. And he was trapped in this girl's body, and he was kind of like the girl, like he was in that girl's body for a long time, and then he ended up giving her body back, and he went on up to heaven, and then had a funeral and everything. And I was just like, who writes this fucking shit? And I was devastated behind that one, and I really loved the premise of it because it didn't feel as much like a very over mushy, too much kissing, stuff like that type of BL. It was more of a storyline of, good and evil and, relationships around family and stuff like that, which really made for good writing. But the ending came with a surprise ending, which the boy died. And I was just like, bitch, I'm almost going to not watch BLs anymore because I can't stand when two people realize they love each other, they go through all of this turmoil and all this craziness, great writing and everything, and it builds up many relationships all over the place, and then the couple don't get together. Bitch, like what the hell? And so the council really loves Tien. I'm going back to the original story we're talking about. And they've told him, the head guy, I forget his name, he pretty much told Tien that, we hate to see you leave. The kids have gotten used to you, and this is how it's been. Teachers come and go. We're used to it, but we really wish a teacher would come and stay longer. And Tien was just thrown. Like, you could just see in his face that he really doesn't want to leave. Like, you can tell that he's grown accustomed to being in that remote area, even though he comes from money and wealth and all the luxuries that, the normal person can never see. But he's grown and he's fallen in love. Like, he's in love with the soldier, the chief soldier, and he's torn because now the chief's saying he doesn't even want to see him anymore. But I think he pretty much explained that on the mountain that his father and his mother misses him, and he needs to take his ass home because it's just going to cause problems if he stays because his family wants him to come home. In so many words, it doesn't mean that I don't love you. That's why I'm giving you this ring. I do want to be with you. I want us to be together, but we're from two different worlds. Like, you're from a very wealth and I'm not. I'm a common person and you are a rich little person living out your fulfillments or whatever the hell you're doing down here. But I think, everybody now understands why he came there, and why he has made such an impact on that village, because Tofan was the same way when she was alive. And they did a lot of flashbacks while he was counting the stars with Tofan, which really tied a lot of loose ends up for me, because I really was missing out on what all her impact was, but they did start to show a lot of more scenes of her with the village and what she was doing, and then it kind of contrasted what he was doing in the village, just like her. And he took it to, he took it to heart, all her wishes, and he did all of them except for when he got to the stars, and he tried to get to 1,000. He couldn't do it, but he fulfilled everything in that book, and I was so proud of him for that. And Tofan's wish, I believe, was that her and this guy would get together as a couple. And he's gay. Like, I think he was really gay. Like, he loved her friendship and the essence of her, but she's a girl. And I think for me, that chief wasn't in love with her like he fell in love with Tien. And he basically told her when he was at the mountaintop that, he was going to tell her, like, I'm sorry, but, and she cut him off. She's like, no, don't tell me. I don't want to hear it. I don't like, bad endings, but I wish that you would bring me here again. I can count 1,000 stars and wish and hope out, for love or whatever it is that she's trying to wish for, which I know she wants to achieve, but he likes her, but he's not in love with her. But I think when she died, she found, and when her heart got placed in that boy, she was like, oh no, bitch, you're fixing to go back and fulfill all of my wishes, and you're fixing to fall in love with this man that I couldn't have. So you got my heart, but I want you to take care of him. And so now that the chief's his feelings have been cut off by the father, he's cutting off his feelings, but it's killing him. He's coming apart, and after the ending of it, they did a kind of like a look flashback after they were in the mountain at the end, and Tien, when he went to visit the chief and found him in that pitiful state, he shaved his face, and they had a little conversation, and they kept touching each other, other's face and touching each other's hair, which is symbolic of love. But there was I don't see any kissing in this whole BL, not one. Can't remember any kissing, and it is so much better to me, the storyline and everything, because it's romantic, but it's not sexual, and you can feel the intensity of the emotions because the actors are very good at conveying their emotions and everything. So it really is one of the BLs that stands out for me in all of this. So I'm excited that I think I'll be watching this one again at some point. This last episode 9 was very hard for me to get through it, because I know their relationship is coming to an abrupt end. I just don't understand why, because it shouldn't be. He's grown. He's an adult. Your father shouldn't be the reason that you break off from someone. But of course, he's the general, and that's his boss, so he has to do what his boss says. So I do get that, but it's still at the same time, he's an adult. This isn't a child. You know what I mean? He's a grown-ass man. And so I'm lost in the translation of that part, but I guess I have to just roll with it. That at the end of the day, some people sacrifice their love, their happiness for their parents, and that's what it's going to come down to. Yeah, I mean, I just don't know what else to say. I'm just at a loss for words right now. But I think overall, the writing of this novel and the way it is directed and acting and everything is amazing. I'm just so amazed by everybody who's put this story into script, and it's one that I think I'll remember for a long time. So I'm adding it to the list of the very first BL I saw, the second one that I seen, and a couple of others that I really enjoyed. I've seen a lot of Filipino BLs and Thailand BLs, and I'm enjoying those very much. I can't say that I haven't watched a lot of BLs from other countries because I have seen those ones from Thailand. I mean, from Taiwan, and they're good. Um, but I haven't added any of them to my collection of, I'll go back and revisit. The ones that I revisit are the ones that really shook me to my core to where I can't stop, revisiting them and on rainy days go back and rewatch them. I've always told you guys that Lovesick was like the very first BL that I ever saw, and it was so good. And I watch it, I watch scenes from it all the time. Like I go back and revisit it on days when I'm not watching any of the newer BLs. And Make It Right is another one that, season one and season two of it was seamless. And I'm watching the one actor from Make It Right that he's now in this one called You'll Never Eat Alone. And I've been following that one. There's so many BLs coming out. I don't think I'm going to be able to keep up with all of them. Some of them I'm just going to have to skip over. And some of them have huge casts. Some of them have like 7 and 8 couples. So I don't know how, if my brain is this foggy at this point. With the pandemic and everything that's going on, I think that the COVID epidemic has really gotten to my brain. So I can't really hold a whole lot of thoughts in my head. Did I leave my damn raincoat? No, it's back there. Thank God. It just started raining. It's supposed to be really bad weather today, this afternoon, and I'm at work now, and so, ooh, that kind of scared me. I don't even know if I need to really put a whole lot of makeup on, but I think I'm just gonna put some foundation on because it's gonna be rainy and yucky, and it doesn't make any sense to sit there and coat my face with tons of makeup if it's just the rain's just gonna knock it right off. Um, what was I saying? Oh, and so I can't keep up with all these BLs because there's just too many. I'm just trying to catch the most anticipated one. A Tale of a Thousand Stars, the one that was anticipation for since last year, and I had seen that Earth was in it, and I like Earth because I had seen him in a BL about swimming. I can't think of the name of it. It was a spinoff from an older BL about a swimming competition. So they remade it, put Earth as the lead, and I think they put this other guy. Y'all know that guy from Nui. They call him Nui, that actor, and he was the love interest in that BL. I just can't think of the name of it because, like I said, this pandemic has got my brain in a fog. I just can't hardly hold any thoughts other than day-to-day survival. If you want to subscribe to my channel, please do. Please spread the word. I'm here just chatting about BLs and doing Little Mermaid skits and things like that. My ass is plump as hell from just being at home and taking care of my pets, my little 5 dogs, and other critters that I have, birds and goldfish and stuff like that. So I'm doing a lot of sewing. I'm making dog clothing and dog vests. I'm trying to order a lot of bulk stuff because I want to make them and sell them. Little doggy vests and things that are really easy to make and fun projects for me to do while I'm in this COVID crisis. I can try to make a little side hustle. I'm still selling my mask. I'm not advertising anything right now just because, you know, I just got a few local customers for this stuff. I don't have like a setup where I could sell in mass just yet because I'm still, learning and trying to feel my way around this pandemic and figure out, how I can make money. And so I do have the Cash App. It's Pieces Ariel. And I have PayPal, which is Pieces Ariel PayPal. So anybody who wants to donate to help me get more of my equipment and updates so I can do better videos and stuff. I just need people to, who are interested in crafting, who's interested in buy, sell, trade, interested in, cosplay, Disney. That's pretty much my arena. And I do the karaoke stuff, too. So I'm just encompassing as much as my talent as I can as a artist, and hoping that I will um, build up my fan base and have more people following me. Right now, I'm down to 4.5 thousand, I think 5,000, 4,000 followers. I had 12,000 at one point, but it's YouTube cut me off and I can't seem to build up again. But once you get to 1 million followers or something like that, you can start to make money, through advertisements and get your little checks and stuff like that. I've seen that on TikTok, Instagram, people making all kind of money doing stupid videos and people liking and sharing it. But I think if you're not a young person, if you're old like me and you're not attractive, you don't look, a certain look, people kind of just glance you over and they don't give a fuck. So um, I'm not surprised. The story of my life is not been the rose-colored, you know, story, and so I don't have high expectation for a whole lot of things or people at this point. So nothing really. Ooh, sorry. I'm trying to glaze over my lips just because they get chapped sometimes from the diabetes that I have in my body and the high blood pressure. But yeah, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer or anything. I'm just stating the facts that it's very hard as a two-spirited transgendered woman to um, pull yourself up out of a deep hole in life when you don't know what's going on with you yourself, and it takes you forever to figure it out, which was my situation. And I was like 30 years old before I knew I was trans, because for so long people were saying that, you're gay, and I was like, I'm not gay. Like, I'm not into my body like that. Like, I don't want a guy to touch me. I don't want to really touch a guy. I don't want to do. It's entertaining to watch them in their relationships and stuff. It's a fantasy to see them, somebody in this world, have happiness, because it's just the way my mentality is. But I don't want to be personally um, living as a boy, period. And so boy parts were an issue. I mean, I just don't know what else to say. I didn't have as a child, you don't have words for it. And I grew up in the 60s and 70s. So, wasn't no internet, no Facebook, none of that shit around, no computers. Just you had 3 channels, 4, 7, 11, and then like 1 or 2 little off channels. And all you would see is, I mean, I hate to say it, like, Beverly Hillbillies and sitcom shit, you know what I mean, and religious stuff. And my mom limited how much TV we could watch because we had a lot of chores and things to do around the house. We didn't sit around and just watch TV and play video games because we didn't have those kind of luxuries. We could go outside and plant flowers, go work in the yard. We had bicycles. You ride the bicycles, but you couldn't do it for long because you had too much shit to do around the house. You didn't have freedoms like these young people had. Like, young kids can just do whatever they want. We didn't do spending the night in people's houses and all that. So mom kept her thumb down. We spent most of our time in church. So I grew up kind of sheltered, like we didn't get to do very much. So as an older person, and I'm free from all of that, I live quite differently, and I'm very happy. I'm very grateful that she did such a wonderful job taking care of me and sheltering me, and I'm glad she did. And I'm glad that God made a way for me to figure things out for myself. And so I think that's all I can do. I think it stopped raining enough that I think I'll be okay. And so that's pretty much it. Like I don't, I can't count. I can't see ahead in the future, as far as making money. Like I'm making little side hustle money now, doing it, but I don't know how to make myself blow up to where I can, do this on a big global scale just yet. But I'm working on it. And if it doesn't work, I'll just do something else. Like, I'm just grateful that I even have a part-time job. Ooh, let me put some mm, Avon far and away. So, yeah, I'm just grateful that I can even, do what I'm doing. And I didn't know that, you know, I would start trying to buy stuff, sell stuff, and the pandemic just brought it out in me because I was at home every day. I would go to the thrift stores and stuff and buy fabrics and come home and sew little sewing projects, doing little clothes and things for myself. But I never thought, hey, I can sell these masks, or I can, make clothes and sell them or whatever. And, my sewing skills, I just can look at somebody else and figure it out. Like, I don't need someone to teach me. I can pretty much watch what all the other seamstresses are doing out here and just go back and work it out in my head and do it. And my mom taught me how to sew when I was very young. And I unlearned it, and then I relearned it in college because I was in a theater and I was working in a costume shop. And the costume designer, Joy Breckenridge, took me under her wing and started teaching me how to sew and how to do period pieces and costumes and all that. So I learned quite a bit of sewing techniques through her. I wasn't really sewing whole garments, but I was always working on garments. She had me doing little small projects and teaching me how to hand bead and how to, do grommets and how to make spats and all kinds of things. So I learned all that stuff at a very young age. I was in my 20s when I learned those things. And that was because, oh, sorry, I got to put that body cream um, all over me because I don't want to smell like body soap. I want to smell perfumey for me. Thank you. Um, and so, yeah, I learned, how to be independent and do these types of things through the theater and through my mom. And so that's pretty much how I know how to use a sewing machine and do little small projects. And I just push myself to do more. That's all. I'll just keep pushing myself, learning, from just trial and error. And I'm very happy that people like the stuff that I do and they want to purchase it. So we'll see. Like, it's just, handful of people, and we'll see how it spreads. We'll see if anything's come up. But right now, I'm in need of coins to get a computer, and I can do, more lives and try to work from home, record and upload my videos so you can see a little bit more of ooh, this hair. Ooh, I want to be sorry. But anyway, it is what it is. And I need to pin this down. And so I haven't been doing a whole lot of videos or anything because I just have been not feeling hot. I think just trying to get my second COVID shot is coming up, and trying to work with around people who just don't give a damn. It's kind of hard, and I just don't want to. Okay, I'm trying to get this other pen. Sorry, it's stuck in there. Hold on, I got it. There we go. And so, yeah, it's just interesting. This life is very interesting, and I'm very grateful that I'm okay. Like I'm surviving, and for whatever God sends me, I'm very grateful to. Let me fix my. I don't want this in my face, so I'm gonna move this back because this little piece is always sticking up in my face on this wig, and I have to do it like that to keep it from. Can you see it? It's a cute little wig. I found this in a Goodwill, um, and I washed it and oiled it and fluffed it out, and it came out to like this big hair that I really love. And so I found quite a few wigs. I haven't had to buy wigs because I keep finding them, and if they're in good shape, some of them are cosplay wigs, some of them are just regular. Like you can put heat to this one. So I knew it was expensive because I always look for the little tag on the inside, and that's how I can tell. And I can also tell by touching it. The synthetics, because I've had so many synthetic wigs in the past, and I've had human hair wigs too. But the human hair, they feel quite different from those plasticky synthetic ones. And whatever this is, it it feels like human hair, but I don't think it is. I don't know what it is, but it really fluffs out really nice. So I like it. So anyway, I better get going because it's almost time for me to be in my job. So I'm gonna stop here. This has been a tale of 1,000 stars, and then a little side chat. I'm glad. Hope I get. You guys are getting to know me a little bit better, and like, share, subscribe, and then just leave a comment. Like, let me know that you are at least looking at my stuff because I have no idea who's watching me. I know one girl that I, met on the internet through Instagram that follows me from time to time. And then some of my local friends that are watching my videos and stuff. But all you other strangers out there, who are you? Who the hell are you? Bye, everybody.